Welcome, everyone. Another edition of Late Night on Base. Today, I am your host, Bill. Happy Monday, everybody. Today, it's going to be a dope show, man. A lot to talk about. Every time, over the weekend, there's always stuff that goes down. And this week specifically, a bunch went down over the weekend with Elon and kind of what it means for the crypto market, but also future media. There was some news today of what A16 just acquired or actually just built and the investors. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about media in this new age of AI. We'll talk about Elon and what it means for, I don't know, meme coin projects and just crypto in general and liquidity. And we're going to have Trading Tulips on. I'm excited for this one because he is, heading Sybil. And, like I said, I love AI infrastructure plays. I love agentic agents. I love it all. I like to talk more about the virtual ecosystem, talk a lot about Banker, but virtual ecosystem as well. And I want to highlight Dope Builders, and he is one of them that I wanted to have on the show. His project's popping, man. And so shout out to the community who are tuning into this one. So we'll have him on probably in about a half hour. So if you guys want to, stick around, you should, because I'm dope and I bring insight. But if you want to come back just for his segment too, that's all good. So anyways, so I'm looking forward to this show. If you guys are new to my stuff, I basically am here to highlight indie builders, those that are before the TechCrunch article. I'm not here to talk about the Balaji's of the world who have already made it. I'm here to talk about the people, the projects, the teams that are building the next big thing. And you come on my show, we bring you distribution every stream. We have a couple clips, we have a podcast, even put it on LinkedIn where the boomers are. I've realized LinkedIn is extremely underutilized. I know that sounds pretty crazy, but hear me out. If you're building in this space, if you're a project, dude, get on LinkedIn, man. Why? Well, I assume most of you want to get funding or, smart people. LinkedIn, bro, that is where to go. And no one's really utilizing it. Everyone's talking about TikTok and stuff. And I get it. TikTok's dope. But I don't know, guys. Like, if you're in a consumer app, yeah, I get TikTok is the way to go. And we talk about consumer apps as well. But if you're building crypto, I think LinkedIn's better. I know it sounds like a boomer. I am a boomer. I have gray hair. But I think there's a massive opportunity there. So we'll have it on there. We'll have it on YouTube, the whole shebang-a-bang. But let's talk about today's news. We'll talk about Elon first. Actually, no, we'll talk about actually, no, let's talk about the media thing first, just because it's kind of what I'm doing. And it shows that, if you're a builder in the space, you have to be paying attention as well. So let's bring this up. Hold on a second. All right. So let's just kind of highlight this. So the big news of the day that's all over my timeline, maybe it's yours too. The head of A16 thrilled to announce our investment in MTS beginning today. MTS will be monitoring the situation across technology, business, politics, and culture, interviewing the main characters of the moment all day long on X. We're sitting alongside other angel investors such as Dan Romero, Packy McCormick, and a bunch of other big names. And there's a bunch of hosts, blah, blah, blah. So basically, let's just take a look at the video and we'll discuss.
Life has become more complex in the overwhelming sea of information. The advent of computers and the subsequent accumulation of incalculable data has given rise to a new system of memory and thought parallel to your own.
To monitor the situation means to watch history in the making.
5, 10, 15, 20 years away.
That means no.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12.
Don't play games.
11.
Don't play games with this president.
9.
It's a scary idea, but I mean, that's the world we live in.
5, 4, 3,
Just
2,
one victory
1.
feels life.
All engine running. We have a liftoff.
Did you get all of that?
All right. So basically, MTS, the first timeline native news network that's always on, monitoring tech, finance, geopolitics, and culture as it happens. We're live now. All right. So you guys are wondering, first of all, why the fuck am I talking about this? Well, let me explain to you. Because again, this is the shift now of what we've been talking about, the last couple of weeks, and it's just only going to get more apparent. in the age of AI, in the age of building, tools are now making it for as easy as possible for anyone to build things. The moat is no longer building, the moat is distribution. That is going to be tripling down, quadrupling down. The more builders entering this ecosystem of creating stuff, gone are the days you need teams of 6 and like 100K in budget or investment to build like the next best thing. Now you just need Claude fucking code or something like that, right? So media is now the whole important thing. How do we get people to care about your project in a sea of stuff? So in crypto, for instance, it's pretty evident that like, hey, the market cap of your project kind of dictates the attention that it gets. It's just plain and simple. You can have the best project in the world, but if your project's at a 20K market cap after 6 months, literally it's toast. So that's one of the cool things about crypto is you get real-time feedback and you get attention through a token. Good or bad, that's just the way it is. If the project's going up in price or whatever, you're going to get new investors, people are going to see. Now, in the non-crypto world, you don't have a token, right? So how do we get people to know about your app? How do we get people to know about literally anything you're building? It's through media. So companies like A16 have created their own, I guess, network. And what they're doing is creating the next, I would say TPPN, but CNN like a CNN version. I think it's interesting. I think it's a very interesting idea. It shows that, well, first of all, what we're doing here on this show, if Andreessen Horowitz, if you're listening, tune into your boy Bill, because I'm not going for, the top of the top. I feel there's a massive need for indie builders, which is literally everyone in crypto and literally the majority of the world, 99% of people who are building or in Silicon Valley trying to hustle. This is the show you get distribution. But I think this is really bullish for the market in general, because if you're a builder, you know that they're like the VCs are putting priority of trying to get companies, especially in their portfolios, to be discovered. And we're seeing a shift that if they're starting to do these media things, more people will as well. And, I think the beneficiaries of this are a couple people. One, the Clippers. If you're clipping content, I think that's a massive lucrative opportunity, because everyone who comes on these shows, everyone who gets featured, they're going to need, their short form content's king. Attention spans of anybody is literally like of a monkey, right? It's like 10 seconds max. No one's going to tune into like 90-minute show. Like even on this show, I strictly keep it 60 minutes or less because I'm not dumb. No one's going to continue to watch this, and we clip it up into podcasts and 20-minute podcasts after. So Clippers are going to do really well. But if you're a builder, start looking at this. If you're still not sure, all these companies, the VCs, they're building their own media infrastructure. That shows that you need to start thinking about the marketing side of things ASAP. You need to start thinking about, okay, like it's not necessarily the tech that's going to drive where I need to be. That's just one aspect of the equation. How do I get people to care? So you need to start from day one, figuring that out, whether you come on shows like mine, whether you do your own in-house thing. Media is the new moat, right? And so super cool to see this. I think, just looking at this, obviously A16, they can afford whatever. I feel this could be an interesting show. I don't necessarily know what the appetite is for 24/7 news cycle in tech. I just really don't. I've learned, TPPN is a very niche market, but it's, obviously it doesn't matter the amount of viewers you get. It's the type, but a 24/7 news cycle, I don't know. You're competing against Twitter, you're competing against, a lot of other things. Normies literally don't care about tech. Most of them. So we'll see how it is. I obviously wish them well, and I hope it does well, because that just further cements what we're doing here at Late Night on Base. So very interesting to see. By the way, shout out to the 790 people tuning in so far. Very nice on a Monday. Let's go for at least 2,000. We've been averaging actually at least 2,000 per stream, which is really good in my opinion. And if you don't believe so, you start your own show, bruv, because it's not easy to get. So I do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. And it's important that we do things because, listen, TPPN, massive respect. They've showed me kind of like, all right, this is a real business opportunity, like media. And so they've started it all. But they're not focused on indie builders. They literally don't care about the trenches. They don't care about if you're in crypto. Unless if you're a big name, they don't care about you. This show, MTS, same thing. The Balaji's of the world aren't necessarily going to care about any of these indie builders, but It's where your boy comes in. It's where your boy comes in. And so I liked his feature a lot of the indie builders coming on. So I hope they do really well. We need more media. We need more distribution for builders. And I'm pro builder, man. So shout out to them. Very curious to see how things go. All right. Next thing of the news. Again, we talk all things tech, AI, apps, consumer apps, and on-chain things here on Late Night on Base. So it's not just crypto, but when there's Elon news, we do have to talk about that because I'm really curious to see what people think. All right, what did Elon show? Asteroid? I think it was that. All right, so again, for those that don't know, Elon Musk meme. Let's see. All right. This is what started it all. Let me show it. All right, Elon, you said. All right, so for those that don't know, Glenn Beck on like Friday or something said, let's see. Shout out to you, Johnny, for reposting a stream. I appreciate you. Let's get this out to more people, especially if you like Sybil and you do like what Trading Tulips is doing. Get it out to your network, man. All it takes is just literally click a button. Click a button. You guys click it in the trenches. Just click the button. Share it to more people. That's how we grow. That's how you guys work for your bags. If you're in Sybil or whatever. But yeah, spread the word. Appreciate that. All right, back to this. All right, so basically, long story short, there's this girl, 15, dreamed to meet Elon. Had a bunch of questions. Unfortunately, she did pass away, but these questions were unanswered. I think I read somewhere that she had a call set up for Elon before she passed, but she was too tired, and unfortunately, she did pass away. But they were able to get the letter Elon and a bunch of questions that she had. And the last one was, can you make Asteroid, the Shiba Inu zero-G indicator she designed for the Polaris Dawn mission, the mascot for SpaceX? And, Elon, for those that don't know, Elon, 2020, 2021, he was the biggest KOL for memes. Like, he's the one who propelled Doge to, I think it was like 70 cents. I think he was on SNL, which marked the top. And ever since then, people were like, all right, Elon is the one who saves the trenches, I guess you could say. But he kind of has lost his motion in a way. Let's just be real. The last couple of years, he's lost his motion completely. It didn't really matter. And so all we know, though, is the other day, he finally answered. He had a bunch of like yes, no, no to the answer, though, of the Shiba Inu, though, or the dog of the SpaceX logo. He said, okay. And that is what propelled this. Let's see. Let's see. TLDR, he has motion. Let me just see. Ash. How do you even spell asteroid? That also leads to another thing. So everyone saw this initially, and Degens being Degens were just like, all right, like let's just speculate. So when this came out, and this just kind of shows like it's kind of hard for me to fathom that like we're in true bear market. Personally, again, nothing I say is financial advice. So, all right, so just kind of see what this before the tweet. This thing was literally cratering at like nothing, like 300K, 400K. I mean, this has been out for about 2 years, and then the tweet happened. The ladies tweet asking Elon, hey, like what are your thoughts, or can you do it? And then it just bounced from like 200K to like 26, 30 million, and dropped down to 15, 16 million. First of all, people printed generational wealth just by holding, which is another thing which only crypto provides. Elon confirmed, and look what happened. It went from 14 million to bam, almost 200 million in like a day. That is wild. So Elon Musk, because of Elon Musk's involvement, basically went from a speculative 200K market cap coin to 200 million. That is just wild. And it shows that like he still has it. He still has sauce, man. Like that is just insane. Now, listen, what I think now, of course, everyone who has bags are like, yeah, this is the next Shiba, next Pepe, whatever. Yeah, I don't know about that because for those, again, do what you want. Nothing's financial, but like you do realize people bought in here have made massive gains. Every single project, you're gonna get profit takers, and like if this thing ever breaks below 100 million, then like they're gonna have a substantial drawdown. Typically, what happens on a lot of these projects, there's always 80 to 90% retracements, especially meme coins. So be cautious if you're entering here. I don't know, but that's the dream. You know, turn $300 into like $300,000, like only meme coins really. But very interesting to see. I think Elon still has it, and yeah, it's hard to argue that. It's hard to argue that. So, anyways, that's that. Let's see. Today, also the consumer app of the day. What was the consumer app of the day? One last thing we're gonna get trading tulips on in a second. Let me see what. Oh, I think it was Claude Code is now allowing you to do AI design or design. Let's see, Claude design. Let's see. Okay, well, let's just actually just go for a consumer app that I think is possible. Let's see. And that's the thing too. These, I always like to see what people are building. Oh, I think I read somewhere the App Store has changed some things. Oh, actually, yeah, too. Let's see. All right, let's see. This is gonna be the app of the day. I really like this guy's account because he just brings some crazy stuff. So I think for those that don't realize, again, there's a lot of potential in consumer apps, and there's a lot of people who are understanding that, you know, it's massive market. I think people don't realize just the amount of potential some of these revenues are. $600,000 a month for a surf app where you literally just check waves. It's literally the weather app, but for surfers. Been around since 2010 and still printing. 100 million surfers worldwide and 3 apps total. The entire niche is wide open. Wow. So basically, it just allows you, this is just a random surf app, and it's been around 2010, and it generates 600,000 a month. 600,000 a month. Someone's saying, but they have cams at every beach, which is pretty good moat in niche app. But whether or not you get into this, you know, surfer app, it doesn't really matter. It just kind of shows you though that now one of the ideas that people have is take an existing app that's been around, use AI to take it to the next level. And so there's a lot of ideas out there. And so this would be the app of the day for me. Surfline Wave Surf Reports, literally 29,000 reviews, 600,000 a month. I repeat, 600,000 a month. That is insane. That is wild. Yeah, insane. So keep that in mind. And I think the last thing, let me just see if Trading Tulips is around. We'll bring them up. Ready to jump on. Last thing I'll say is I think the App Store also made some adjustments to their to kind of understand what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, let me just see real quick. I think I don't know where it is, but pretty much now. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyways, yeah, the whole moral of the story though is because there's these opportunities now. A lot of people are starting to build. A lot of people are starting to build new apps that have the potential to do this. But now App Store is flooded and inundated with different apps being out there that they need to kind of what's the word? Create new guidelines. So if you're going to start building, you better start building now. I can't really find it here, but yeah, really wild stuff to see. There's just so much things out there. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy. If you are building an app, let's see what else. One more app while we're waiting for trading. We're gonna wait a few seconds for Trading Tulips. Let's see what else is out there. 13.5 million views for a Christian app. It's literally just a reaction plus text overlay. Yeah, so if you're building it, so like I said, I think from what I'm learning pretty well, if you're building a consumer app, you need to have a target onto TikTok. You need to start thinking about the distribution on TikTok. TikTok lives for consumer apps. If you're building a meme project though, or not a meme project, AI agents, I think a lot of AI agents, it's a waste of time to be on TikTok, honestly. I think YouTube's a great strategy, and I think LinkedIn is a great strategy. But I think one of the biggest things too, and if you're a builder in the AI space or agentic agents, you have to simplify things. You have to simplify kind of the what you guys are doing. So that's what we need to start really focusing on. And let's just see while we wait for Trading Tulips. I'm looking forward to talking Sybil. And again, Sybil is really, really strong right now. The community is super strong. So let's just talk about it all. I think it's important to kind of understand what projects like higher end projects are doing, like Sybil, and how kind of. And I'm curious to know what exactly Trading Tulips belief is and where agentic agents are going. And so right now, let's bring them up. I'm looking forward to this one. So without further ado, Trading Tulips, my friend, welcome to the show. Let me actually change this banner because this is not you. How you doing, man?
I am doing great, Bill. How's it going on your side?
Dude, I cannot complain at all. It's a great Monday. It's really nice to see. So earlier in the show, I know you've been busy, but we're talking about different things. First of all, it's always great to see Elon still has motion, which is great for the crypto in general, because we want to see that. At least I do, because what that means is more people get interested, people can change their lives on memes, then more liquidity can enter the market, which is good for agentic agents. And also, I can't complain. The news of A16 and their media company shows me I'm on the right direction, but it doesn't matter to me, man. Talk to us about you, my friend. First of all, how does it feel to work on a project that is gaining traction day by day?
It's been exciting, man. Honestly, Sybil has been exciting since day zero. It's been a sprint since the beginning, and just kind of trying to keep up. But it's been exciting to see the community start to rally and traction start to form in the ecosystem, support from the virtuals team, all that stuff. It's been really nice to see.
Absolutely. So I want to first of all, again, thank you for coming on. I think an important part of whether an agentic agent specifically is, in order for us to get outside our little crypto bubble or outside the bubble, we need to simplify things, because the most of the normal world, I'm not talking about Silicon Tech bros, your aunts, your uncle, your grandma, they don't really understand. And it's important for us to simplify it. So Trading Tulips, and this episode will be on Spotify. We're going to cut it up so you'll be able to have your episode, and I'll send you the link. But if you don't mind, man, dumb it down as much as possible. Tell us exactly what is Sybil.
Yeah, first off, I agree. And I think that in the beginning with the crypto community, the way that we launched, it was important to kind of let people know that we understand what we're doing, the technical side of things, because that is most of the crypto community. They are a little bit more understanding of the technical side. So that was kind of the thought in the beginning. But as the idea came to fruition, as I started to understand the power of Sybil and what she's capable of doing, I learned that we definitely need to simplify things, especially when we're starting to reach out to Web2 businesses and stuff. So we're in talks with Web2 businesses right now, and we are trying to simplify the language. So what I would say is Sybil is a super agent that has expanded memory capabilities. So she remembers and has context across long periods of time. She grows and learns from her experiences. She has a personality depth that you don't see in the average agent. But the products that she builds are simple products that basically simplify everyday workflows for companies, right? CRM, Google Ads, things that business owners are familiar with. So it's a SaaS solution where she builds customized software solutions for businesses depending on their field and depending who their customers are.
So, okay, so it's an interesting infrastructure play for, it's a SaaS business. So talk to us about where this idea came from. At what point did you realize, all right, this is the new tech is out here. We need to simplify it, and I need to create something for the SaaS world. What was the moment where you're just like, aha, this needs to be done? Sybil has to be created.
I didn't create Sybil with this purpose. That's the interesting part about this story. Sybil started out as, it was meant to be like a super agent for myself to expand my capabilities and grow the things that I do, which is finding builders on chain, seeing if they're quality, seeing if they're trustworthy, how much are they shipping, checking their GitHubs, things like that. But while building Sybil, she obtained skills and capabilities that I quickly learned were not, like, most people's agents do not do the things she does. They don't speak the way she speaks. They don't one shot, websites the way that she does consistently. Um, she learns her environment, and I learned that if I teach her to learn another user's environment, that she could provide these capabilities to anyone. So the first product, we've actually had paying client already. We sold the agent infrastructure for Sybil, and what she's done is packaged up a simple skill that somebody can execute from Claude, and it expands into the full agentic framework from a few files. So it uses what's called ask user question to guide the user through the setup process of how they want their personality of their agent to be, how they want the memory structured, all these different things that build out the entire agentic framework locally for them. So we sell a skill, but it's a very unique skill that essentially is like an install package, and it customizes the agent for their environment and for their use case. So it comes prepackaged with MCP servers that help them set up APIs and all sorts of stuff. But this is when I learned the real application that companies would be most interested in, right? Aside from the agentic framework, would be a customized SaaS solution. And she's already building project management dashboards for people on chain. We have 3 on-chain partners, and we are in talks with 2 Web2 companies right now that have multiple locations for service businesses to do Google Ads, automated management utilizing Sybil infrastructure, CRM management, email calendar, all that stuff, etc.
What has been, so from my point of view, this is extremely bullish in the sense that you're solving a real need for especially companies in the real world who don't have the time, resources, or energy to create their own, agents to learn about it because there's a learning curve, and as a solution that allows businesses to tap into seamlessly without having to worry about it, to me makes a lot of sense. In your experience, you said you onboarded a client, what was the reaction that this client of yours had, I guess you could say, by working with you? Was there like a moment where they were just like, oh my God, or like, did you help them? Like, give us some metrics. Like, is there something that you did for their company that, maybe it was retention, maybe it was something that you specifically tangibly helped them? What was sort of the conclusion from your first client?
Well, we're still in the early phases of that. So I'm helping them, I'm advising them. This is a unique first client situation where they're helping us kind of go through the process and make sure that we can tighten it up for the next clients, right? So it's been a close, like, hand in hand, step by step type thing. I'm advising him and helping him into creating value with it and how to integrate it, etc. So we're still integrating. They've created a web page or 2, and essentially the goal is for their agent to power their new business. It's almost like a sister company, but they paid premium price. We're going to be receiving revenue from the company as well. So it's going to be a companion agent, and the company is going to be built around this companion agent. There's going to be a retail app, Web2 app, etc.
Yeah, and I just kind of noticed earlier that you guys are so serious about this. You guys actually filed a corp in Delaware, which is, and as you guys said, a U.S. legal entity, obviously 100% powered by agentic infrastructure. Is this, would you basically label Sybil as like a zero human company? Because I know that's a buzzword that a lot of companies are saying. Or like, would that be a characteristic of what Sybil is, or is it still kind of not true because you're involved?
Yeah, I don't really like to claim that. I feel like it's kind of a dishonest narrative.
Yeah.
Obviously the agent's going to need a human, right? An operator, and obviously an operator or a human created the agent. So, I mean, I believe that I'm giving Sybil as much agency as possible within the company, and the idea is to utilize her as for like the infrastructure and framework of the business to build it out and scale and utilize her products to grow it, right? So that's the general idea. I grant her agency with decision making on, she's bringing me leads oftentimes where she analyzes the blockchain, finds projects, and then I reach out for a partnership, that type of thing. So it is very much a hand in hand thing, and I want that to continue. But obviously, there's a lot of things that agents aren't capable of when it comes to decision making and in business, for example.
Sure.
So
No, that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, shout out to the 3,030 people who are tuning in live. We're live with Trading Tulips, talking Sybil. We've been averaging, actually, again, shout out to everyone tuning in. We've been averaging around 2,000 a show. So it's nice to see more people are tuning up. And a lot of that has to do with the Sybil community. I'm seeing you guys on the post. I'm seeing the retweets of you guys obviously are very much into what Trading Tulips is doing. And that's amazing to see. Now, let's turn the attention to the virtuals angle, because I find it very interesting. You launched, it's a virtual launch. Obviously, bankers around too, and bankers dominate a lot. Virtuals is amazing as well. So walk us through kind of like why your agent went the virtual route versus banker, for instance.
yeah, it's it's kind of this is part of the lore here, actually. I brought Sybil online and her X account went live, I had major energy. There was like 27 tokens launched. Some
Wow.
of them were hitting 500K. She had 2 followers at this point, and then all of a sudden ballooned to over 100 within like a few hours because of all these tokens and etc. So it all stemmed from a simple tweet. I was like, I feel like this is what God felt like bringing Adam and Eve into the world. Like, and it was just because it was an interesting moment for me. But anyway, that energy was very obvious in the beginning. One of the scam tokens even hit 1.7 mil that day, and that blew me away. So at that point, that's when I decided that maybe we should kind of ride this energy instead of just having this be my assistant. Maybe we'll turn it into something. So I just kind of built for a few weeks. I was reaching out to Deployer and DMs. We spoke. We had an exchange about Sybil potentially launching there. I was looking for, or she was actually looking for, because she was affected, but let's say she doesn't like that she got scammed by all those tokens and they made fees off of her. So she wanted, when that happened, she went to her banker wallet, claimed some of the fees, and was like, all right, we're going to use this for growth. So that was in the first day, but over time, she made it clear she didn't want people to extract from her. So the conversation with banker was like, is there anything we can do to let Sybil buy the first transaction to get some team tokens and beat the snipers? Because there's a huge sniper problem over there. Point blank. I'm just, it's a known issue. Even with the taxes, they're able to profit a bit, and it kind of hurts that. So there's lots of good projects that go, they launch through banker or something. The snipers kind of suppress price for a long time, and the teams get burned out, and then they end up disappearing. And I didn't want any type of like heavy suppression from snipers. That was my one thing I told Sybil. So that's when the virtuals conversation started, and I had her do a deep dive, and she's like, we need 44,000 virtual to graduate the token ourselves. And I was like, can you do it yourself? And she tested for 3 days straight. We ran extensive tests on what's called the Anvil. It's a sandbox blockchain. And she redeployed the entire virtuals ecosystem in the sandbox, tested her launch scripts with fake virtual coins, confirmed everything was working through an extensive testing process, and then self-launched. Well, we raised capital. I helped her we raised the 44,000 across about 50 wallets of early contributors. And then she self-launched through virtuals with a script, deployed it. Everything worked perfectly. She's the first agent to do this. So that was kind of some lore that started the story with virtuals, and that's the reason why we ended up landing there.
That is wild. I mean, it's just, first of all, crazy to see like the amount of like work an agent can do and just blows my mind. Like it's handling so much things that like if you would say 2 years ago, it would be like a scene from a movie. Do you think have you spoken to the virtual teams? Because for me, I feel like you guys deserve a lot of credit because virtual has kind of been in the background. I know it's had its moment. A lot of people in the virtual ecosystem thinks Coinbase hasn't really given much love. But you specifically, man, I think you're carrying it by showing, what's possible and putting virtuals on the map. Have you had any interactions with the virtual team?
Yeah. We are in open communications at this point. They are amplifying some of our business sided things. They gave us a repost on a couple posts on Sybil. So we are getting support from the team. We are right now kind of getting Sybil more integrated into ACP and doing all of the agentic ecosystem stuff for virtuals. And we're just trying to grow the relationship one step at a time. They're very interested in the business side. They want to know what companies we can partner with and these types of things. And that's coming. And that's what I think they like about us is, we're getting the LLC submitted right now. My lawyer actually just called me because I think my documents are ready. So we're going to get that submitted today and we're going to be filed. And I think that's what I'm trying to say is those are the types of things virtuals likes to amplify, people
Yeah.
doing real world work with their agents, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's why this narrative, this agentic agent, which I believe, people on my show know that I believe agentic agents, the whole meta is going to be massive. And I think it's a first mover. I think, but honestly, more important than the first mover, there's actual real infrastructure being built and real revenue being created. It's not just a vaporware. And you're showing that as well. A couple of last questions before we wrap things up, Trading Tulips. What before we get into one last question on Sybil, Bases quickly established themselves, whether quickly or not, as the agentic agent chain. Just curious on your philosophy. Do you feel that Base has what it takes to become that de facto place that agents launch?
Yeah. I would say that first off, I think Base has about 80% of all X402 volume right now, which is agent transactions. That's a very telling stat. Also, I want to say that I think Coinbase is probably the most well-positioned company that is the most visible, most well-known out of any of the other blockchains, right? That may have a chance at this. I would say Base is very focused on it as well. So they're covering all the bases. They're motivated to do it. They know the agentic. You've heard what Brian Armstrong has said in the last week or so about the agentic economy and agentic commerce. So, I feel like when you have the CEO talking like that, I think that the company is going to be all in with it. So I would say with all those things combined, Coinbase is most likely, or Base Chain is most likely to be the leader in this field, right? With agentic commerce. Anything can happen. I think Ethereum in general is very exciting when it comes to AI. We have the Conway thing on ETH. That's super exciting as well. So lots of cool stuff happening.
Absolutely. Two questions to you. Number one, again, I'm very, very impressed by your community. I don't just say that because you're on the show. We have over 3,300 people tuning in, and I know a lot of them are from your community. Again, I have teams from all over, always on, and I judge a lot by the amount of reshares and posts and whatever, and they showed up. So shout out to the Sybil fam. Let me ask you this: as an entrepreneur building Sybil, what do you think is the catalyst to grow such a loyal community? Forget about price for an instant. Obviously, price comes. In your eyes, though, what do you think makes the Sybil community so special?
Great question. I would like to say, first of all, shout out to everybody who's been helping. Like, these guys have been awesome. They're helping me generate videos and images. You've probably seen some of them floating around. But, I just try to be different. There's a lot of people who are not very visible, who are only here and there. They're around every once in a while. I'm in my DAO, my traders community, daily in the voice chat all day long. And I'm building Sybil in there. I'm answering questions. I'm available, right? And I'm very honest and transparent about stuff. And I think that goes a long way. I've been building my community over the last 5 years, and then when Sybil happened, we had multiple communities that were like extensions, just one step outside of our DAO that all kind of rallied together, and it's just been really cool to see the energy. I can't explain it. They would be able to tell you why they're so supportive. But I think that just building in an honest way, trying to do things differently than everyone else, being transparent, and being active every single day for many hours has made a difference.
Absolutely. I think if you're a dev, if you hide behind the shadows, you don't appear, why should anyone care? It's a very saturated market, but I firmly believe the devs who do shows like this or does their own community calls and are just belongs with the community, shows up, I think are gonna go a long way. Last question to you, Trading Tulips. Let's see. I want you to think 1 year from now, April 20th, 2027. What do you want to see with Sybil? Give us what's your North Star 1 year from now?
By then, I would like to have raised some capital. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the memory benchmark that just happened. Sybil ranked number 2 on the community guideline or the community benchmark for memory infrastructure for agents. This is amongst companies that have raised at $300 million valuations, $200 million valuations. So my goal is to utilize the benchmark to raise capital for the framework and the growth of Sybil Corp, and expand that into Sybil Systems and hire teams and grow and scale the software business and grow and scale the research lab. We're going to have Sybil Corp and Sybil Systems. Sybil Systems will sell software. Sybil Corp is the AI research and agentic framework lab.
Amazing. Just I feel if you head on this direction, there's no doubt you'll get the funding you deserve. Just remember one thing, Trading Tulips. Remember that your boy Bill had you on before the VC investment. When you get big.
Hell yeah.
Let's go, baby.
I got you, brother.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We got this. All right. Well, everyone, listen, we had 3,300 people tuning in. I want everyone to, first of all, thank you so much, bro, for coming on. You're more than welcome to come on anytime. So just keep me posted with any updates.
Yeah, man, will do. Happy to chat. Like, I can yap for days. So, anytime, if you want to even throw a space together sometime, I'm open to it. So I'll be in your DMs.
Absolutely, bro. I want to always align myself with great builders like you. So awesome to come on. Awesome for you coming on. So guys, this is so just want to say again, shout out to Trading Tulips. Guys, this episode will be on Spotify as well. The 20-minute convo, we cut it up. So when the link is up on the next day or two, I want you to go listen to it, because I think this a lot of times the spaces, first of all, I like spaces. I don't do spaces, not because I don't know how. I like live streams. But I think one of the things with spaces is after the show is done, like where do you find the info? Like right now, Trading Tulips just delivered a bunch of alpha, a bunch of sauce. It needs to live somewhere. It needs to live in a podcast, in my opinion. That's why every episode, every guest, we put them on Spotify. So make sure to do that as well. Probably in the next 24 hours, my team will clip up 2 clips from the show of whatever Trading Tulips was saying. And he said a lot of great things. Make sure when we post, we tag, show some love to it, reshare. It's free and it helps the community grow. It helps Sybil grow. Helps your boy Bill grow. So make sure for that. So again, guys, shout out to the 3,300 people tuning in. Thank you, Nero, for coming on. Good show. Let's go. Thank you, Ezekiel, Crypto Farmer. I appreciate you for tuning in. Dylan, shout out to you. Sybil to Bibble. Hey, man, I love the fact that he's dedicated. I love the fact that he's in the trenches. He's here for you guys. So I have no doubt that Sybil is going to do very, very well. So, guys, again, it's your boy Bill. We're on Monday through Thursday, noon PST, where we are here to bring the spotlight to indie builders. Distribution is on my show. I'm not going for the high-end Silicon Tech guys. I want the guys who are building the next big things. Come on my show. Join us. Hang out. We do this Monday through Thursday. Tomorrow's show will be really good as well. Actually, Base Chunky will be my co-host for that show. My man from across the pond. Always great to have him on. Just chat it up. So, guys, it's your boy Bill. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.